Hey guys, welcome to a weekly storytime video. If you like these story times, please like this video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think down below, and subscribe if you're not already. All those things really do help out the channel. And if you want to support us continuing to do what we do here, the best place to do that is over on Patreon. So a link to our Patreon is down below. So in this week's story time, we got a new implement, so I want to talk about it. So we ordered a new implement a few weeks ago, and it came in, and Coda decided to familiarize himself with it. And so what we ordered was a split strap, or a Tawse, and it is the first implement that we have had like this. If you have seen our previous videos, you know that we tend to lean towards paddles mostly, and besides the paddle, we have some canes, we have a loop. You see them in the background here. Now, the cane and the loop are the only things in the background that get used regularly. Most of this is stuff that we have used in the past that has since been retired, and what we're using now mostly is, we have a leather paddle, we have some wooden paddles, we have the cane, the loop, all the things. And really a strap-like implement was something that was missing from our collection. It's something that we weren't really sure if we were ever going to kind of go down this road of more flexible implements, if you will. And it's something that was a completely new experience. So for me, I had never really been spanked with anything like this before. I did not have any concept of what to expect. I had no point of reference on what it would feel like and how it would go. And Coda as well, he was not very familiar with the concept of using a flexible implement in this way. Now, the leather paddle we have is more flexible than the rigid wood paddles that we have, or even the acrylic. So he had some concept of having a more flexible implement, but the leather strap that we got is definitely way, way more flexible than the leather paddle we have. So we went into a experimental spanking. It's definitely something that we will continue to utilize if we get an implement that we are really unsure of. And that's because this is a spanking that it doesn't follow any type of real structure. It's not part of a larger spanking. It's outside of discipline. And so it gives a lot more leeway into being able to really try different things and get in the moment feedback about what is happening and how effective it is. And it just gave a lot of flexibility to kind of figure it out, which is good, because if it was in the moment of discipline, that's not when you want to figure out what you're doing with a new implement. And we could have potentially figured this out through like maintenance, but it was really, really beneficial to have this more experimental spanking where Coda could try different severities, he could try different placements, he could just kind of get a feel for what the implement felt like to kind of use, and he could get real-time feedback from me to say, you know, whether or not I felt like that was an effective level of severity. Now, this does require a lot of introspection from the taken in hand. You have to be honest enough to let your head of household know if what they're doing could be taken up a notch. And obviously, as a head of household, and I know Coda feels this way as well, that what I said was like, "Ooh, that's good, I'm tapped out." That really is kind of the starting point, and he could take it up a few notches for actual discipline, and he did. Actually, I haven't earned a spanking since we have bought this implement, but he definitely took it up a notch when we had maintenance the next time. So going back to this experimental spanking, the way he did it was he just started out with like 2 or 3 swats with it to kind of get a feel for how it swung, how it felt, and he also wanted to get some feedback on the severity. He always starts kind of on the lower end of what he thinks is going to be appropriate to get my feedback on that. So the first few swats that he landed, they were not very severe at all. I was actually quite trepidatious about this implement. I was very nervous about it. I didn't know what it was going to feel like, because when we first got it, I kind of like took it and kind of hit my own hand with it, and it was very, very stingy. So I was really, really nervous about what it was going to feel like. And so the first time it came down, I was like, well, that doesn't feel like much. And he brought it down again, and I was like, yeah, that's not really leaving any type of impact. And so I let him know, and he tried again. and it was much more effective, but I took a minute and I assessed, and I was like, it could go even a little bit further. The third time he brought it down, or the third time that he adjusted the intensity, he brought it down and I started crying. It was so intense. It was a lot. And so he brought it down at that intensity again, and I kind of yelped a little bit and started crying harder, and he's like, yep, that's it. And so once he got a feel for that intensity, he set a timer for 30 seconds just to get a feel for how, placement and the intensity of, kind of bringing it down over and over again, because within our system, that's how he would use it. And so he did that. And then he went to the other side, because Coda really has this system where he spanks like one side at a time. He went to the other side, and it was really, really awkward, to the point where he brought it down and it stung. And then he brought it down again and it stung a little bit. But then I was like, that feels weird. And so I stopped reacting, and I was really contemplating. And that's when I realized, I'm like, this is not effective whatsoever when he's standing on that side of my body. And so I kind of looked behind me to see what was happening. Like, I just kind of looked over my shoulder, and we made eye contact, and I was like, this feels weird. And he's like, yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? And so we tried a few different ways on that side, could not get a feel for it. The placement was just off, and it's because his swing pattern's completely different when he's on that side. And so we realized, or rather Coda realized very quickly, that he was going to have to change completely how he spanks me for this particular implement. And so what he decided to do is, instead of going per side, he's going to, and this is how we've been using it since, he's going to spank continually for the set time for that implement. And instead of doing one side at a time, he'll go straight across and kind of at random land it to where it lands on, because he stands to my left side. So he'll go straight across, so the tails of the strap are hitting my right side. And then kind of at random, he will make it to where the tail or the tip of the strap lands more squarely on my left side. And then that way he kind of goes back and forth, but it's not in a predictable pattern. And it's kind of how he feels is needed and necessary, and whatever he decides is best in those moments. We also realized that the strap is particularly effective on my upper thigh, and so that is kind of where he is landing it. He uses it a little bit lower, and it's extremely painful. It's a lot to take, honestly. It was a lot, to be honest. I was kind of taken back, especially when he used it that way. And so he set a timer, I think, for 1 minute and 30 seconds, because that is the time that we use for our punishment system. And so he set a timer for that. He realized that because the swing is so different, he's going to have to kind of work up to the time that he wants to be able to use it, because it is highly effective and he wants to use it more. And so in order to do that, in order to not only get a feel for it, not only to familiarize himself with it, he is using the strap for like every single spanking. So we have it written into our correction system, our maintenance system, obviously our punishment system. And so he is going to be using the strap pretty regularly from now on, at least for a little while, until he decides how he wants to incorporate it long term. And so he's doing that. Now, I will say that the strap is highly effective in the sense that in the moment, it feels absolutely unbearable. The lasting sensation on my skin is completely different than anything else I've ever experienced. And the lasting soreness is completely different from anything I've ever experienced. Contrary to popular belief, my spankings, as severe as they are, they don't typically leave me sore for very long. I don't know if it's just because of the way my body processes, way my body heals, but I don't typically have lasting soreness until now. So the strap is definitely like the missing link to being able to keep me sore for a while. And so Coda really likes that aspect too, because it is the first time that I'm like, ooh, this is different, and very, very effective, and definitely leaves the sensation that I was spanked. So I know that he's enjoying that aspect too, because that's something that we have, both of us collectively, wanted to create more of, because that is something that, that is one of the benefits of spanking, is having that lasting reminder of wanting to do better, and kind of that lasting reminder that, you know, the price of not doing the right thing. And we just haven't been able to accomplish that, but I think we will now for sure, because the strap definitely leaves me so much more sore. So yeah, that was kind of my first experience with an implement of this type. He really likes it. Now, the strap we got was a little bit on the shorter side, but he, as much as he likes it, he was telling me the other day that he really wishes that it was a little bit longer. So we are going to be ordering the next size of this particular strap. And yeah, so I wish I had it out here to show you guys. It is currently in the house, and so I'm not going to go get it, but we will potentially show it. Maybe I'll make a short. I'll make a short video and just show off our new implement. How about that? So look for that as well. And we will talk to you next time.